and welcome to Policing TV, where I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Kamilla Hankiewicz, who is the CEO of Untrite. Um, More on Untrite in a moment or two, but Kamilla, first of all, I just want to acknowledge, if I may,
Sure.
you have a pram ready and waiting just over your left shoulder. We're recording this on the day before your due date. Am I correct in that?
Yeah. Like it's a bit big now, and yeah, the lease is finishing tomorrow, so I hope he will be out soon. It's been long.
Very good indeed. Well, but I'll say right at the outset, very best wishes. And this is
Thank
your
you.
first, I believe.
Yes.
So very best wishes
So I'm very
for all
excited.
that's now absolutely understandably so. Now, perhaps we should press on with this just in case you
Sure.
start. I don't want to
No,
induce
no.
contractions or anything here. So, but we're speaking here for a couple of reasons, two or three reasons. First of all, we were first in touch as you and Untrite were exhibiting at
Hmm.
the NPCC, the UK National Police Chiefs Council Innovation and Digital Summit that
Yeah.
took place last month. You were exhibiting there your Untrite software, which supports a number of UK forces. We'll come on to Untrite software in a moment or two. You set up Untrite 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What led you to set up Untrite?
Well, so I started my career as a consultant, a management consultant, and I've been working on numerous different type of projects in different industries, but I noticed the same issue, the same problem lots of larger organizations have, which is fragmented data, systems not talking to each other. And this led me like slowly, building the experience, building exposure. This led me to setting up a company which initially was serving private sector. So if you imagine, for example, like a larger manufacturer, the same issue like in public space in policing, you have lots of information. It's very difficult for a human to find the connections in the right time, and sometimes situations are critical. So we started building a software, and initially serving private sector, then through my connections with BT and some other organizations, we noticed that policing is actually the perfect case for this, because it's a high risk, high emergency situation, and you just need to know the most important information right at your in front of you.
So it's software that patented technology that's supporting those call handlers in police forces that are needing to respond quickly to um, information that that the caller is often providing under stress, and it's helping those operators with real-time speech analysis, intelligent decision support, but in a way that supports the operator rather than replacing the operator. Is that correct?
So we started with this. We started like 5 years ago, actually, with domestic violence calls, analyzing and prioritizing information so it's quickly available to the operator so they can make a call, the right call. But it's much more than that, because if you think about how much burden, how much like difficulty it is for officers to handle a case, it's not only emergency calls. It's also filing missing people report. It's finding patterns of where the crime is happening. There's lots of information, or even like filling the simple like crime reports. So much things can be supported and um, improved with technology, but it's not happening because of, as we've talked briefly before, of inefficiency and inability of forces and larger public organizations to, just embrace technology.
So fast-moving technology and very much helping police forces at the moment, at least in the UK, use that to best effect. Just before we leave the startup journey, Starting up a technology company cannot have been easy 10 years
Oh
ago.
no.
So the journey that you've been on is quite remarkable in itself. So a small and medium-sized enterprise that you are SME, you were starting this. Tell us a little bit more about that startup journey, what it was like from the point that you decided that you were starting up Untrite, and some of the highs and lows of that journey through to the present day.
Okay, so I guess it was my naivety, like I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I met incredible people along the way, and these advocates, they helped me to get through, you know, some of the hardest to get industries like public sector policing. And without them, we would not even start. So definitely one thing which any SME has to like focus on is building connections, building network, and finding people who believe in your vision, because without that, it's a dead end. Yeah, so I think for me, I don't know, I think for me it was just the need, some kind of internal need to build something which I would be proud of. So I was working, as I told you before, I was working in management consulting and banking for some time as well. But I felt like I was just like a little, how do you call it? Like in a wheel. I
A
forgot the
small
cog,
cog in
exactly,
the wheel.
a small
Yes.
cog in a wheel. So I was doing unimportant things and things I felt like they don't have any impact. And I wanted to change that. I wanted to do something which I would be proud of. And hence I guess I just dove into the difficult bit, but it's been incredibly difficult, and we are still going uphill, and things are just taking much longer than we would hope to.
What can you tell us about the work that you've been doing with UK police forces to date? And where do you see this journey going, not just in the UK, but elsewhere,
Sure.
as you move forward?
Sure. So I can tell you about our work with homicide police. We've started this 5 years ago. Um, Initially, we did like this POC project, which have proven very successful. We decreased the handling time by 29%. And one of the best feedback I think we received from one of the operators was that they see it as a safety net. So it just system makes sure that nothing is missed, even when there's a highly charged, emotionally charged conversation, and even if, for example, someone is screaming at the back, everything is being recorded, everything is being filed. So there is the richness of data and richness of information is just there, and before it wasn't like that. So at this point we are doing multi-operators and any kind of calls. So it's very challenging, but this is one of the things which will help us to expand to all the forces, all the UK forces, and hopefully in the near future to US or Australia or the other countries.
So one acronym I'll just mention, POC, proof of
Yes,
concept, just for those who
sorry.
are not familiar with that. No problem at all. Now, at the time or shortly after um, the conference that I mentioned, the National Audit Office in the United Kingdom published a report on police productivity, which it has some relevance indeed beyond the shores of the United Kingdom. Um, you commented on this on LinkedIn, and what I'm just going to do, because it has relevance
Mhm.
within the UK uh, suppliers market, not just for small and medium-sized enterprise, but also to larger concerns. The comments of the National Audit Office do have relevance to the work that you and your Untrite colleagues are doing, and indeed more widely. Tell us something about your reaction to that National Audit Office report on police productivity, also recognising that the Home Office is about to publish a long-awaited uh, report on police reform.
Yeah. So I wish it wasn't only publishing papers which are rarely read or read and then forgotten. But yes, it's a big problem with public sector and policing especially, because if you think about how much money is being spent on, I think I read somewhere that it was like 97% of IT budget is spent on legacy outdated systems just to keep them running, which crash all the time. So there is not really money for something new, and there is no like mental space as well for people who would even want to invest in something which could, improve lives of citizens and the public servants. So the situation is quite bad, and especially for SMEs, it's very difficult to change that, to challenge that, because there are not unified frameworks where you could, just apply and showcase your whatever you are trying to improve. It's usually larger organizations who have been there working with policing, and so the doors are pretty much closed.
So our colleagues at Policing Insight are currently conducting a survey that's supported by the National Police Chiefs Council, the College of Policing, and others within the United Kingdom on the police digital experience of officers and staff. And it'll be very interesting early in the new year to see the results of that. Kamilla, it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you. I know that our time needs to come to a close right now because you have other matters that you need to be focusing on. But as and when you find that you have some time back for yourself in the hopefully not too distant future, let's catch up again for Policing TV.
With pleasure.
We'll record something a little bit further. But look, in the meantime, it would be remiss of me not to close this by wishing you every joy and happiness as your family grows. And I look forward to us talking again. So Kamilla Hankiewicz of Untrite, the CEO of Untrite, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Bertrand. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.